everybody, welcome back to my jungle. Earlier this week, I watched a video by Wildfern, another content creator. I'll link her stuff down below. She did a list of 10 questions that she answered based on her plant journey for 2025. And then at the end, she asked other content creators to answer those questions as well so that she could compare what her 2025 was like with others. So today, I'm here to answer those questions. The first question is, what plants did you cross off your wish list for 2025 this year? I picked 5. I got a lot of plants on my wish list this year. First one is my beautiful variegated syngonium chia pets. I got this a couple of months ago. I bought it off of a seller on Reddit, and it had 3 leaves. One of them was a great big huge one that I took off. It was just green. The other 2 are half moons, which I absolutely love. And I put him on a pole, which he's loving. And if you look right here, you can see he's putting out a new leaf. I'm excited to see what that looks like. My second one is right next to my chia pens. This is a Philodendron glorious. He doesn't look so great right now because I need to water him, and his leaf was coming out before I got him. But I got him at the plant swap in Baltimore. I don't remember what I traded, but I gave a girl a plant that she really wanted, and she told me to go over to her table and I could pick whatever plant that I wanted off her table. So I went over and I saw Glorious, and it was on my wish list, so of course that's the one I picked. He was just a cutting. I put him on a moss pole so that he would have a chance to grow. And I also, off of his stem, there were 2 notes, the one that's growing right here. Then there was another one that was rooted. So I took the one that was rooted and put it in a cup of moss with a lid and a lot of humidity, and that one is sprouting. So that is plant number 2 that I got on my wish list. My third plant is a variegated Christmas cactus. It doesn't look like much right now. I've only had it for a couple months, but it is putting off new growth. You can see right here, if it's going to focus, it's got a couple new leaves coming out here, and then down here in the cup, it's got a new leaf coming up. So it is definitely growing. I'm really excited to see where this one goes. The fourth plant on my list I got at a local plant shop as an unrooted cutting in water, and that is my variegated Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. He is really small right now, but you can see he's got some decent variegation on him. I have him in a homemade self-watering cup, which he's doing okay right now. I may have gotten him a little too wet because it looks like his newest leaf is browning. See that? But it looks like his newest leaf is turning brown. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But he's got these 2 leaves. I know he's rooted because I wouldn't have put him in the pot if he was rooted. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with him, see how he does in the long run. And then my last one was actually inspired by Sam with the Plants. Her channel used to be Sassy and Succulent, and she changed it to Sam with the Plants. And this one is an Anthurium, believe it or not. This is an Anthurium SP Limon. It obviously would love to grow on the moss pole, which is on my list. I got it with these 2 leaves at the bottom, and all of this has grown in my care. So it's a vining Anthurium, which I haven't seen very many of those, and I just love the way the leaves look. It doesn't look like your typical Anthurium. But this is my Anthurium SP Limon. You can see he's got tons of roots in his cup. He stays in my plant cabinet that I have set up for the most humidity. And once he gets moss pull, I'm going to look at moving him out of the cabinet into room air, like all these other kids behind me. Question 2 is, what is a genus that you want to get more into in 2025? I have a couple that I have been looking at. The first one is begonias. I normally don't like begonias. I usually kill them, but I have a couple here that are actually doing really well. I have my begonia white ice, which I got from a local plant shop, and it's actually doing really well since I put it in a self-watering pot. Before it was really sad and crispy and I didn't water enough, but in the self-watering pot it's doing great. And then I also have a begonia dancing girl. That's what it was traded to me as. I traded for it on Reddit. I traded a cutting of my begonia amphioxus, which is not in this video. But I traded a cutting of that, and I got this, a begonia Benigno pink, and a begonia Sinbad. But this is the one that's actually doing the best out of them, aside from that one leaf. But the person I traded with was growing them outside, so actually that's not, I don't know what that is, but it's doing the best out of all of them. I don't know what happened with this newest leaf right here, but it doesn't take away from the look of the begonia. It's got 4 leaves right now, and I'm waiting on more. Another genus that I want to get more into in 2025 is Anthurium hybrids and seedlings. I'm normally really bad about killing them. I got these at the plant swap in Baltimore, and so far they're doing really well. They are in humidity domes. This one I'm actually acclimating to room air because he's got a big leaf and he doesn't really fit anymore. This one's not going to fit very much longer either because he's got a new leaf. But these are 2 of the hybrids that I got at the plant swap. This one is a Pink Lemonade by Rio Clarence Wild Hybrid by Dresslery by Repap. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. But it looks really cute. It's got it. I love how the leaves are kind of like matte. They don't have really apparent veins. It's really cute. And it's got a couple leaves. And it's got some roots growing in the bottom of the pot. So that's this one. That was a mouthful. This one is an Ace of Spades Stripy Magnificum by Self. So it was pollinated with itself. This one, she said, either this one or the Pink Lemonade, she said, was giving her nothing but problems and she couldn't get it to grow. So she decided to sell them and see if somebody else could get them going. So this is the Ace of Spades one. You can see it's got some stripes on the leaves. I'll put a picture of what the stripy mag looks like because it looks really good. And I think it's going to make a really pretty hybrid. I also want to get more into pings. I've been watching Wild Ferns videos and her pingdoms are beautiful. So I've got 4 pings. 2 of them I have no idea what they are. They're sitting in water right now, so they're going to drip everywhere. I can't pronounce any of these names, so I'm just going to put them on the screen. So this is my first one. I got him at the local plant shop where I got most of my other plants. I've had him since July. I also have this one, and he's really cute. He looks really good. Got tons of fungus gnats, which is what I want him to do. And then these 2 I got recently at the plant swap. They're in moss. The other 2 are in carnivorous plant soil, but this is one of them. I didn't know if they were going to make it because on the way home, both of them fell out of their pots and off their moss. But they're doing well right now. They're both growing. They both put out new leaves. This is my second one. So I'm really happy with how they're going right now. And he is dripping all over the place because he's sitting in distilled water. But those are the 2 that I have right now. The last thing that I want to get more into, not really a genus, but it's something that I've been experimenting with and trying, and so far I'm doing well. And that is tissue culture plants. Right now, I have 3 tissue culture plants that I got from Orange Lake Nursery. So I have a Philodendron Spiritus Sancti, which I have a bigger one, but I wanted to try one for tissue culture. I have a wishlist plant, and it is an Anthurium pallidiflorum. It is really cute. It's got some mad roots in there, but that's the pallidiflorum. And then finally, I got a Philodendron Columbia, and this one has 5 plants in it. So I'm going to make a video about these and show you how I take them out, how I acclimate them, because I've done two tissue cultures so far. One was a Red Anderson and the other one was a Monstera obliqua, and both of them are doing okay. The Red Anderson is completely out of the humidity dome. I have it growing in fluval stratum. The obliqua is still in the humidity dome because he's really, really tiny, but I'm going to start acclimating him to room air and see how he does. So it'll be a sink or swim moment for him, but I'm going to acclimate him first, obviously. What is your plant care routine? My plant care routine is all over the place. I basically base it on how my plants look. So if they look droopy, then I know that they need watering. I water maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, depending on if they need it. With it going into winter here, I'm going to assume they're not going to need as much water, so I can slack off on that. When I'm watering, I check for pests. I found, so far, I found spider mites, thrips, and, oh no, spider mites, thrips, mealybugs, and scale on my plants. I got rid of the scale. Scale's completely gone. I haven't seen a thrip in a month, which is good. I actually, it was on my El Chaco Red. I cut all the leaves off, and I'm regrowing it from sticks. The mealybugs are all over my Hoyas. And the spider mites, I have some in one of my cabinets, and I have some on, or I had some on the top shelf of my bookshelf that I have my plants on. I went through and I did a deep clean on that shelf. I cut back some of my plants. I cleaned all the leaves with Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew and rubbing alcohol. So I haven't seen any spider mites since I did that, but I'm also keeping a very close eye on those plants just to make sure that they don't come back. Also, when I water, I look to see if any of my plants need repotted. So typically a watering day is a repotting day. I always find 1 or 2 that need a repot. So I do that as well. I'm also working on getting all of my, or at least most of my climbing plants on moss poles. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 moss poles. So I'm building up my moss pole collection. I do my moss poles. They're inspired by Sydney Plant Guy. I'll link his channel down below too. I'll link all my favorite channels down below. But I do my moss poles based on what I've seen him do. And so far they're working really well. The plants are growing roots into the poles, which is exciting, and they're sizing up and getting bigger. So it's just a matter of time until we see exactly how well they do. Because I want big leaves. He has big leaves. My biggest success from 2025, I have 2. First one is my little baby pink black velvet. I'll put a picture up of what he looked like when I got him. He had a couple leaves when I got him. And then those leaves died, and the next 2 that he put out were pure white. So I was worried that I was going to lose him, that he was just going to be a pure white baby. And after those died, his most recent leaf is It's actually got some pink and some green, so it's actually doing photosynthesis. So this one's really good. I'm so proud that he put out that leaf. It's still tiny. He's just a little teeny tiny seedling. I've never been able to grow an alocasia from a seedling to a big plant, but so far he's doing good. My other success story is my Chorizo Verde. I got him earlier this year from Walmart. He was like $20 when I got him, and he had, I think this is the last leaf that he came with when I got him. When I got him, I put him on a pole and took off the bottom leaves. And since then, he's put out 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. He's grown to the top of his moss pole. So he's going to be my first moss pole extension. And he has got, I don't know if you can see it yet, he's got roots in the moss pole. So he is loving this moss pole. I just have to remember to keep it moist for him. But he's actually doing really well. I'm very proud of him. He stays in my living room on my bookshelf so that he can get light from the windows. Not very bright light, obviously, because he's got really long petioles and he looks like he's reaching for the light. He stays in there on my bookshelf. Another thing you'll notice is he is all green. The reason that they go all green is based on heat. You can give them all the light, all the water, everything they need, but if they don't have the right temperatures, you're not going to get variegation. These do not revert. This is not a reverted Chorizo Verde. It just hasn't had the conditions that it needs to put out variegated leaves. After the winter, come springtime, I'm going to work with him and try to get him to give me some variegation. My biggest plant failure from 2025 has to be the top shelf of my bookshelf with all my plants on it. Those plants had a very bad spider mite infestation. And with everything going on this year, I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and they didn't look too bad, so I put it off and put it off. And then we had no leaves. So what I had to do, I had to cut off the leaves on my peace lily. I had a variegated peace lily, off my Calathea zebrina, and my Calathea warshawixii. I had to cut all the leaves off them. I also have a variegated wax ivy that I had to treat for spider mites, and a Tradescantia. I don't know what it is, but it grows like a weed. I have about 7 or 8 cuttings that I took off of it, both when I did the spider mite treatment, so I didn't have to spray as many leaves, and also I took them off about a week ago because I was watering and they were everywhere. So I just cut the leaves off and made cuttings, and eventually I'll put everything back together and it'll be big and bushy, but it'll also be everywhere. The other one is my IKEA cabinets and fungus gnats. I mean, granted, the fungus gnats don't really hurt anything, but they're really annoying and I really don't like them and I really want to get rid of them. So that is actually what I want to do with my pings. Put them in a dish with carnivorous plant soil and stick them in my cabinets so that they can eat all the fungus gnats. I had fungus gnats back here, and I put my pings over here for a while, and the fungus gnats went away. I also did systemic treatments and sticky traps and everything, but I like to think it's because of my pings that they went away. So hopefully we can get rid of the fungus gnats. The next question is, what is my plant trend prediction for 2026? This one was really difficult because I don't really focus on plant trends and what's doing well and what's not. I just focus on the plants that I have and the plants that I like and the plants that I want. If I had to make a prediction, I would say that Hoyas are going to fall out of favor and fall out of popularity in 2026 because with being a moderator on my subreddit, on sale Sundays, most of the posts that we get are selling Hoyas. So a lot of people call it Hoya Sunday. I would love to see plants that are not Hoyas. I want to see more philodendrons and more syngoniums and begonias. But right now, everybody's focusing on Hoyas. I also think that tissue culture purchases, like the ones that I have that I'm going to be acclimating, are going to become more popular than they are right now because it allows you to have access to plants that you normally wouldn't. Like, for example, my Pallidiflorum that I got. I've been wanting that for a while. I haven't been able to get my hands on one for a reasonable price. So when I saw that Orange Lake Nursery had one, I jumped on it. What season do you find most challenging for your plant care? Being that I've only lived in Pennsylvania for, it'll be 2 years in March, that's a really difficult question for me because I haven't really had that much time to really experience the different seasons here. If I had to guess, I would say either spring, because that's when all my pests show up, and I know that's typical, or winter, because one of the things that I love about my plant collection is I love watching them grow. And in winter, everything slows down. So you're not going to see as much growth. So those are actually the two seasons that I think are most difficult for me and my plant collection. Speaking of pests, the next question is, what plant pests do you struggle with or fear the most? I have two. I have spider mites because they're small, and unless you're really looking for them, you don't see them. And I struggle with them because a lot of times I am like out of sight, out of mind. So as long as I don't see them, they're not happening. The other one that I struggle with is mealybugs, largely for the same reason. They love my Hoyas. On one of my Hoya shelves, I had to wash every single plant because it had mealybugs. I didn't do it as soon as I should have because looking at the plants, they didn't look sick, they didn't look damaged, they just looked fuzzy. They had little fuzzies on them. So I probably let the mealybugs go longer than I should have, and they spread to other plants. But mealybugs and spider mites are the two that I struggle with the most. Thrips is easy. I just spray them down with Captain Jack and give them systemic, and I haven't seen a thrip in probably over a month. They were all over my El Chaco. So I just cut all those leaves off and no more thrips. What is my top wish list plant for 2026? I actually have two. The two plants that I want the most in 2026 are a philodendron gigas. I used to have one when I was in Florida, and I love the teardrop shape of the leaves. I love how they look when they size up. I love how dark they are. So that's one of my biggest wish list plans for 2026. The other one is a variegated Addisonii, but I don't just want any variegated Addisonii. I want the alba one, the one that's green and white. I think they look gorgeous. I would love to put it on a pole and see it grow up, see how big I can get it. Those are my two biggest wish list plants for next year. Finally, we have my two favorite plants from 2025. My first one is my Aglaonema Manilis Pride. You can see it's got beautiful variegation on those two leaves. This one, its most recent leaf, doesn't have any variegation, but that doesn't mean it reverted. And then he's also got a little bitty baby. I don't know if that one's going to be variegated or not, but we'll have to wait and see. This has been a long time coming. He's had it for a while. But that is my first one. And my second one is a mouthful too. It is a Syningia leucotricha, one of those two. But this one I was inspired by Wild Fern to get. I saw hers and hers was absolutely gorgeous. I got it off Palm Street and it had flowers, which they're kind of dead right now. But he has got the fuzziest leaves. He's kind of droopy right now because I just watered him. But he's got fuzzy leaves, and I love the way that he grows. He's got a fuzzy stem, and he grows from a potato or a rhizome or a caudex. I think it's a caudex, but he grows from a caudex type thing. They're supposed to go dormant in the winter. Where I have him, he gets pretty much constant light and the same humidity and the same temperature. So I'm not sure if he's going to go dormant. He's got some brown on his leaves. I don't know if that's because he's trying to go dormant or I just have inconsistent watering. But he looks good now. And I will have to wait and see if he decides he wants to go dormant. So even if the leaves in the stem fall off, I'll just stop watering the potato and wait until spring and then put him back out once the days get longer. But that is my Syningia leucotricha. I think that wraps it up for today. I answered the 10 questions that Wildfern asked, and I've seen other content creators answer them too. I watched Emma with Good Growing. She answered them. But it's great to see how our plant journeys and how our plant routines and our plant collections are largely the same, but at the same time different, and how they're inspired by each other. I have a lot of inspiration from Sydney Plant Guy and Fern and Sam from Sam with the Plants, Kaylee Ellen. They're all inspirations for my plant collection, as well as what I've seen on Reddit, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So leave me a comment letting me know what your favorite plant of 2025 is. I told you mine, you can tell me yours. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. And subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Uh, uh, this is the part I haven't scripted.